One day, he says, as politician, he will be a member of government. 11-year-old bright spark Ronaldhino McLean, head boy of St. Richard's Primary School. If he were the Minister of Education...
As the Minister of Education, I would do something similar to what I would do as principal, is that I would ensure that there are more parenting workshops and meetings across the nation to engage parents in discussions with teachers, principals, and even the Ministry of Education. I would have members, selected members, come in and talk and discuss things that we're discussing even right now to ensure that the parents are up to point.
He is right on point. The transformation in education we all seek, indeed what we have always sought since we see ourselves in the successes of our children, means that we are all in. Parents, teachers, students, community. And we can all agree that our children must be placed right at the center of education and national development. It's what transformation is. It is how it has to be. You would be concerned, you would have to be, on just what they're thinking, especially when they talk to you about issues affecting them most, like the very GSAT exam, placing primary and prep school children into secondary schools.
GSAT should be nothing pressuring. It should be nothing harder than anything else. It is just a test like any other test. It's just needed for us to move on to the secondary level. I believe that many children are pressured too much about the exam by their parents and by other teachers, by certain parties, certain outside parties. So I think that there should be less pressuring on students because it can cause children to be fearful of the exam itself and to have a negative spirit going into the exam. So I would like that to be cut out, where persons pressure children too much about the exams. I know that all children should study hard and work very hard in order to sit the exam, but I don't think that there should be any fear, any nervousness going into this exam, that we should all just try to realize that it's just a regular exam. It's just a method of placing students into the secondary level.
Sit up in your chair. Be even more attentive when he responds to the question being asked on what if there were particular tests over a period for better assessment.
That is a very excellent method for all students, because GSAT now, it's basically what it is. It's a 2-day exam that doesn't really show the profile of the child. It doesn't really show what the child does in class. It doesn't really show what the child is capable of doing. It's a 2-day exam that brings different questions from what the child has been learning. So I think a method like this, it allows you to see everything that the child has been doing coming up, and allows you to get a better understanding of who that child is, what that child is doing currently in school, and where that child should be placed.
It's an issue being addressed by the Education System Transformation Program, the ESTP, which aims at more effective and efficient education service delivery to improve teaching and learning, so pointedly addressed by young Ronaldhino McLean. Now we have your attention. This 2-part series on the Education System Transformation Program is about a conversation with all stakeholders, including you. It makes you want to think about how most of us have been educated over the years. History is important, especially as we map the way forward. Comments by our leaders can be rather insightful. Let's reflect on this.
We have to be reminded of our history as a people and the educational system that independent Jamaica inherited. Essentially, it was a system driven by imperial values and knowledge, perhaps more about the motherland than about the country in which we live and which we seek to build as our home. This is not to deny that the system produced outstanding scholars. But frankly, it was an elite to which that educational system catered.
After emancipation, there were no primary schools, neither after nor before, for children of the former slaves. That only came about when, after the Morant Bay Rebellion, the British government withdrew Sir John Eyre, E-Y-R-E, who was the butcher of Morant Bay, for killing some 500 people. And they replaced him with Sir John Peter Grant, who was a far more liberal person. And he started to build schools. He started to build roads. He started to build hospitals. I'm not telling you that he did it on a scale that the country would have enough. Now we don't have enough.
One of the real tragedies of colonialism, something that our colonial masters have never been able to explain to us, is how after so many years, when they ruled Jamaica, when they exploited to such a great extent the resources of Jamaica, and yet when they handed over to us that independence, they handed over a country with largely uneducated people. It raises serious questions as to whether that was an omission or whether it was deliberate strategy. We have had the responsibility and the challenge of trying to right that wrong. And we have made genuine efforts at it. We have made mistakes too. I think one of the mistakes that we made is that in our zealousness to expand access, we didn't pay enough attention to maintaining quality.
All that's reflective on where we're coming from for serious study and discussion on where we are going. Don't go anywhere. When we return, all that went into the melting pot of transforming our education system.